the prophets Moses and Aaron, the rulership of the pharaohs in Egypt and the Israelites. The Israelites had settled in Egypt during the life of the prophet Joseph. Their numbers increased over time and they gained wealth. They lived peacefully and became stronger each day. Their peace and happiness continued until they were overthrown by the pharaohs in Egypt. The pharaohs were the local people of Egypt called the Kiptis. They had overthrown the Amalekites and took control before them. The pharaohs denied Allah and claimed to be gods. The local people of Egypt gave the pharaohs that authority. The only way to continue living for the ones who lived along the River Nile was farming and agriculture. For that reason, with time the people made their type of work holy and started to worship the cows and the goats. After the pharaohs started to rule, they got worried over the Israelites. They were afraid that they might overthrow them one day. They then decided to act immediately. They first took back the property and estates of the Israelites and then started to use force against them by putting them through terrible suffering and torture. They made them work at the hardest jobs. They made them carry stones from the mountains and make their own graves. They would also work as slaves in their homes and workers in the farms. The Israelites had tried many times to get free from the tortures of the pharaohs. However, they were prevented every time, but they never lost hope. They believed that one day their saviour would come. He would then release them and take them back to their homeland Philistine. They considered that land as a holy place. Their only wish was to go back to their holy land. The Israelites were increasing quickly, no matter what the pharaohs did to prevent it. About the time the prophet Moses was born, their numbers were nearly 600,000. That worried the pharaohs and the local people very much. The pharaoh's dream. The pharaoh had a dream one night. A fire that came from the direction of Philistine was burning the local people of Egypt and wasn't harming even one Israelite. The dream scared the pharaoh and he called for his wise men right away. He described the dream to them and asked them to interpret it. The wise ones interpreted the dream of the pharaoh like this: "A child will be born among the Israelites, and that child will overthrow you and your kingdom." The pharaoh, who had been worried over the number of the Israelites, was now even more scared. He made a decision and ordered his men, "Kill all the newly born boys among the Israelites." No one objected to the cruel pharaoh's order, and it was put into place immediately. The pharaoh had a kind, merciful and beautiful young wife. Her name was Asiya. With her beauty and her mind, she could influence the pharaoh from time to time and sometimes prevented his evil ways. However, this order was not something that she could object to. The pharaoh seemed determined and decided on this subject. A horrible massacre started after the pharaoh's order. All the newly born baby boys were found and killed without feeling mercy or sorrow. The Israelites couldn't do anything but watch in front of everything that was happening. The mothers were crying in sorrow and fathers continued working with their hearts torn with sadness. The little box on the River Nile. While the child massacre was going on, a man called Imran had a very beautiful son born. He named the child Moses, and his mother kept her baby a secret and was feeling worried. The pharaoh's men would kill him if they found out about him. The poor woman didn't know what to do. They both prayed to Allah for the salvation of their child. The kind mother's prayers were accepted and Allah showed her a way. "You breastfeed Moses. When you think they have found out about him, put him in a box and leave it in the River Nile. Don't worry about him drowning and don't feel sad for leaving him. We will return him to you in the future and we will make you his wet nurse." After Allah's kind comfort, the mother's worries were swept away and her heart was at ease. Little Moses was 3 months old and it wasn't possible to hide him anymore. The guards could find out about him at any time. So Moses' mother decided to leave her son in the river. She straight away got a wooden box made and then put Moses in it. She secretly went to the river and put the box in the water. She then told her daughter, who was with her, "Watch this box. See where the water takes it. Be very careful." The water had taken the box along the river by the Pharaoh's palace. The servants took the box out of curiosity. They were going to give it to the Pharaoh's wife, Asiya. When Moses' sister saw the box had gone towards the palace, she panicked. She quickly ran to her mother and said, "Dear mother, the box with Moses in it went towards the Pharaoh's palace. The servants found it and took it inside. What will we do now?" Her mother was terrified when she heard this news. While she was trying to get away from the Pharaoh, she had unintentionally delivered her son to the Pharaoh. However, Allah eased her concern and repeated the things he had said before. After calming down, the mother then said to her daughter, "What are you waiting for, child? Get news from the palace. Find out what has happened." Moses' sister was a servant at the palace, so she could enter and leave the palace very easily. The servant who found the box had taken it to Asiya. She ordered the servants to open the box. The box was opened with excitement and curiosity. They couldn't believe their eyes. There was a baby boy in the box. He had been wrapped up and was sleeping peacefully. He was a very cute and lovable baby. Asiya loved the child from the first moment she saw him. She felt a longing in her to adopt this lonely child. However, how could she make her husband accept this child? He would definitely want to have the child killed once he found out about it. Maybe he would change his mind when he saw the boy. The child was so cute that everyone who looked at him fell in love with him. No one would be able to kill such a cute child, even someone who was very hard-hearted. With these thoughts in mind, Asiya took the child to her husband and explained the situation to him. "We don't have a child. We can raise this lovable child and be happy and have fun with him. Maybe he will do well for us in the future." The Pharaoh liked the child as soon as he saw it too. His hard heart melted when he saw him. He accepted his wife's offer without objecting. He was willing to raise him in the palace. The wet nurse. The local people and the servants in the palace were very happy to hear that Asiya's husband had accepted her wish. Everyone was rushing round to help in the raising of this baby. However, first of all, he needed a wet nurse. Little Moses refused all the women who tried to breastfeed him and cried all the time. There was no one left at the palace who could breastfeed him. Asiya was very worried that something would happen to the baby as a result of hunger. What if he died? Right at that moment, Moses' sister came forward and said, "I know a woman who can breastfeed him. I can go and call her if you like." The local people were happy to hear this and said, "What are you waiting for? Quickly, run and get her. The child will die from hunger." The girl quickly went in excitement to her mother and told her the situation. Moses' mother became very excited, and they quickly went to the palace together. Moses' mother tried very hard not to cry when she saw her child. She tried very hard not to reveal the truth. Moses, who had refused all the other women, started feeding from his mother's breast with a great appetite. This way, a wet nurse was found. Everyone clapped in joy, and his mother was breastfeeding her son in happiness. No one knew that the wet nurse that had been found was this baby's real mother. The Pharaoh tests little Moses. Days passed by, and Moses grew up feeding on his own mother's milk. One day, he hit the Pharaoh's head with a stick he was playing with. The Pharaoh got very angry, and after thinking to himself, "I wonder if this is the child who will ruin me." He tried to kill the child, but his wife stopped him and calmed him down. "Dear husband, this child is not grown up yet. Don't be angry with him." But these words didn't calm the Pharaoh down, and he decided to test the child. He put a diamond and a hot coal in front of Moses. If the child took the diamond, it would mean that he was wise and wouldn't be killed. However, if he touched the coal, he would be killed. While Moses was just about to reach for the diamond, the angel Gabriel ran to his help without being seen by anyone. Gabriel made Moses take the burning coal and put it in his mouth. The Pharaoh laughed at this scene. he decided that Moses was only a child and chose not to kill him.